So, this one's gonna be about the book summary that we started, I guess, not yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, I think it was yesterday. Today's Tuesday, and I started it on Monday, and this is also what we're going to go through today. And the book is called Being Indistractable, which apparently isn't actually an English word, as I've seen by writing the description and writing the tags and whatnot. But it is a pretty interesting book, and I've also figured out the other book that this exact same author has written as well, that I've also just been viewing quite often. But I haven't actually gone through it on a podcast. But as always, there's gonna be more after the intro. Way more, like really a lot, like really, really a lot. And as you might can hear, I do sound a little bit different, and I do not know if I'm just gonna be able to be as loud as I possibly am, because I don't think so. Because normally I'm just really, really loud. Don't know if this is gonna be capable, or I'm gonna be capable to do this today. But I've catched a little bit of a cold, but I'm really fortunate. I'm really, really fortunate that it is actually the beginning of the week, because next week I'm gonna be in Amsterdam with my school class, and it is really not nice to be ill there. Therefore I'm just really glad that it is happening right now. And I'm gonna just watch my health. I'm gonna watch everything. I'm gonna be able to do that. I know that. But yeah. By the way, this is, if you're watching this, if you're just on a YouTube channel, there's also a podcast version of this exact same episode, which means that it is just a way more efficient way for you to consume it, which means that you can just listen to it, because you can just do something simultaneously while you're listening to it, and this just makes it way more efficient and way more maybe even effective, maybe even effective. You're just a person that is learning by listening to things, because we all learn different, we all learn through different ways. But yeah, as I've already said, we're going ahead with the book summary that we started, and fortunately, I already went through the whole thing while I was at the train and whatnot, so that I actually know what I'm talking about, because I gotta have to say that this is actually a pretty difficult one to go through. It really is a difficult one, and even though I went through it just multiple times, I didn't really understand everything there is. But I think I'm just gonna go ahead and read. Part 2. Make time for traction. To make traction, we need to examine how we spend our time. And to do that, we need to begin with our values. Our values, writes Russ Harris, are how we want to be, what we want to stand for, and how we want to relate to the world around us. One effective way to make time for traction is through time boxing, which involves setting an implementation intention. And the further reading would that be, so for more on implementation intentions, read James Clear's book Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits by James Clear. James Clear, one of the best authors that I've, authors of articles, because his articles are just really amazing. Really amazing, I guess him, so James Clear and also Seth Godin, I think they both are just one of the best authors of articles and also books and whatnot, of just written things that I've ever been reading. It is just insane. It is really insane how good they are. It is really, really amazing. It really honestly is. But it is a little bit sad that they are not kind of explaining the implementation intention, because I don't know it, and therefore I wasn't really able to give it to you, which is pretty unfortunate. But there's going to be something coming up, there's going to be something coming up that is truly important, so stay tuned. Eyal, which is actually the author of the book, and who is also the author of Hooked. If you do not know Hooked is basically just a really, really interesting book. It is an interesting book about an interesting topic, and it is about what things catch on and what things are getting us hooked and what things are not getting us hooked. And it is something really interesting, because as I'm just thinking about it, or as I was just thinking about it, as I've actually realized that, because in the first beginning, but even I think in the first episode, I was also like, well, I do somehow know this author, but I didn't really know where I know him from, and now I know it, because he's the author of Hooked as well. And Hooked, first of all, has a pretty great cover. It's pretty decent compared to a lot of other books, I have to say. But it is just a really interesting topic, because I also think that there has to be something, there has to be some, I don't want to say formula, but there just have to be reasons why some things catch on and some things are getting us hooked. and some things are not getting us hooked. I do believe that there has to be something, something, But yeah, part 3. Oh no, not even part 3, but Eyal recommends revising your schedule regularly by committing to it once it's set. Once you schedule time for yourself, synchronize your calendar with stakeholders to ensure they don't distract you with superfluous tasks. And as I've actually looked up the word superfluous, it actually means something like unnecessary, quite. It is, of course, not the exact same, because there wouldn't then be a need for this word to exist actually, but it somehow means just something really unnecessary, an unnecessary task, a task that you just do not need, that is just more like distraction, rather than traction. And I gotta have to say that if I'm understanding this correctly, it is about just you are scheduling time for yourself, which means that you should not really been having some other tasks at this certain time frame. And it totally makes sense. Like if you're just choosing to do something on your own, if you do something for yourself, which means like, I don't know, chilling or just doing something that is good for yourself, which does not have anything to do with work and or with other things that you just gotta have to do. And yeah, then it just really makes sense that you're just consciously choosing the time, so that okay, this is going to be time for some rest, on Tuesday, on just, I don't know, on 5 o'clock, I'm going to rest for 2 hours, because and you're probably going to know yourself, but especially, after you've just committed to a certain schedule for quite some time, then you're probably going to know, okay, I do just have to change up certain things, I do just got to have a break here and there. I'm gonna have just actually way more to work on here and there because this is actually my most productive times. And so therefore, I totally believe that you should really commit to your schedule from the first day on. You should really not be like, okay, I'm just gonna do it like this and gonna do it like that, because it is not just the reason why you're then having a schedule. A schedule is for actually committing to it. But if you actually notice something, if you notice that something is really not doing you good, rather it be just, or whether it be that it is just way too more work, or it's just way too less work, or just way too few work, then of course changing it up is very important, and why would you even be doing this? Why wouldn't you? Doesn't make any sense, if you truly see it yourself. Part 3, hack back external triggers. Contrary to belief, external triggers aren't always harmful. Of each external trigger, ask, is this trigger serving me, or am I serving it? Does it lead to traction or distraction? And if it is the former, it serves you. So if it is leading to traction, then it is definitely also serving you. But if it is leading to distraction, you're more like serving it. Time spent communicating should not come at the sacrifice of time spent concentration. Of time spent concentrating. Yeah. Writes Eyal, group chat is great for replacing in-person meetings, but terrible if it becomes an all-day affair. It definitely is the case. So to minimize mobile distractions, Eyal advises, uninstall the apps you no longer need, shifting where and when you use potentially distracting apps to your desktop instead of your phone, moving any apps that may trigger mindless checking from your phone's home screen, and changing the notification settings for each app. When reading online, save interesting content for later using an app like Pocket, or use multi-channel multitasking like listening to articles while working out. Yeah, it is just definitely something that I also try to do. Like actually using my time, I guess. When I'm working out, I'm also going to do something different besides that, because I can, and this is actually also one of the benefits of this podcast, and also of this YouTube channel, and also just about the content that I'm producing, because you're able to listen to it, and it is just a really efficient way to just consume things. For some people, some people do not like it, and some people really love it, and you should just really be doing what is working best for you. You should really be doing that. But I gotta also have to say that to actually minimize the amount of time you might be spending on apps that are really like distracting you from the actual work that you should be doing, making it really tough for yourself to get access to them is just one of the only things that just really helps. Of course you can do something else, but it's just a really easy but still working move and thing you could be doing, because if there's just a lot of effort, if there's just a lot of traction, actually also now in a kind of different Meaning, if there's a lot of traction between you and the apps, you're not going to use them very frequently, which means, for example, as he also points out, if you're just moving a lot of apps, you're probably having a lot of apps on your phone, which are also able or available on the web or just on the computer or whatnot, then it is definitely a good thing to do when just move them to your desktop. Because I kind of have to say, like, at least this is how I'm feeling about these things, But most often, if there's an app, it is probably optimized for mobile use, and it's really not optimized for desktop use, And I do not even say that you should doing this with apps that you're using just for work and constantly, and they're just really important for you. But if they're really bothering you, if you're just spending a lot of time on them, then there's gonna be just a lot of effort to access them on your computer and use them on your computer, because they're not optimized for desktop usage. First of all, this is just one part of actually making it really hard for yourself to get access to them and or just to use them, because it really is not a big pleasure, to use Instagram on your fucking desktop in your browser. It really is not a good thing, because it is optimized for your fucking mobile phone. And it's gonna be the exact same thing for a lot of different things, Actually, a lot of things. Facebook is actually not the case, because first of all, I guess it was made for desktop, but I'm not quite sure. And then it got just a mobile app, but I don't know. So one of the things actually is making it or creating a barrier of effort between you and the thing that is distracting you. This is just the bottom line. And there's also going to be just some other things, some other barriers actually as well, that you could be using to prevent you from doing things. And I even think that it is maybe going to be the next thing. The next and even last thing, unfortunately. Part 4. Prevent distraction with pacts. Pre-commitments keep you from feeling distracted by removing a future choice. However, they should only be used after the other 3 Indistractable strategies have already been applied. There are 3 kinds of pre-commitment you can use to keep yourself on track. The effort pact, which at my point of view is basically somehow one of the things that could be part of part 3 or point 3. So just the upper thing that we just been talking about. The second thing is price pacts, and the third thing is identity pacts. An effort pact prevents distraction by making unwanted behaviors difficult to do. So basically what I was just been talking about. For example, using a Chrome extension like Stay Focused to block websites like Facebook and Reddit. So stay focused. Maybe you're going to use it, maybe I'm even going to use it, because sometimes I'm actually distracting myself with actually watching YouTube or just, checking stats and checking analytics and all those things that are actually not really important. I'm doing them because of reasons, I don't know. A price pact adds a cost to adding distraction or to getting distracted. However, you need to be aware of the following 3 pitfalls. The first one is price pacts aren't good at changing with external triggers, because you can't escape. For example, nail biting or eating your nails. Well, eating your nails might be something different, but yeah. The second one is price pacts should only be used for short tasks, and the third one is entering a price pact is scary. Yeah, it might be pretty scary, and it might also not be working. I gotta have to say, because in the end, it's just gonna be something that you are doing with yourself. It's gonna be just some sort of a contract that you have been just signing with yourself and for yourself. Which in the end is like, okay, you just do not have to pay it if you're just not really kind of serious about whatever you're trying to do, or whatever you're trying to get rid of, or whatever it might be. So yeah, I don't know if it's gonna work, but something that I'm just thinking about, what is then point 3 about? So point 3 is about hack back external triggers. I don't know, as I said, it is really complicated. It's really, really complicated, and it unfortunately... the identity pact. An identity pact is a pre-commitment to a self-image. And I've been thinking about something, and I thought about things like, okay, you want to be a strong person, therefore you're not gonna just do X, Y, and Z. For example, at least this is what I've been thinking about. I don't even know if this is actually what Nir or evil Nir. It's not evil, but it's Eyal Nir. I hope I'm really bad at this. Nir Eyal or Eyal Nir, and I don't know if he just thinks about it, but it could actually work, you know. But it's really not a good one, and it just really shows again that part 4, so the last one, so the last kind of line of defense, quote unquote, is really like just the last line of defense. Like it's the really last thing that you should be doing, and everything should be working with those 3 above, which would be hack back external triggers, then make time for traction, and the first thing was, which we went through yesterday, master internal triggers. And master internal triggers was more like about just really figuring out yourself and knowing yourself, you know, knowing why you're doing certain things and why you're doing certain things on a certain point in time, you know, figuring out your triggers, basically, which is definitely something that's pretty important. But unfortunately, I really don't know what part 3 is about, so hack back external triggers. So if you know, it would really be amazing, you know, if you hit me up on Instagram, you know, maybe you've actually read the book. It is a relatively new one, I gotta have to say, but maybe you have done that, or just write something down in the comments. I'm also gonna read that, definitely. You know, I'm definitely gonna see that. Whether you're writing me on just Instagram or wherever, I'm gonna see that. Recommended reading, or further reading. James Clear discusses the importance of identity and behavior change in his book Atomic Habits. Again, recommended reading. If you like Indistractable, you might also like Atomic Habits. Deep Work: Rules for Focused Success in a Distracted World by Cal Newport, and Decisive: How to Make Better Choices in Life by Chip Heath and Dan Heath. And the last one, and actually the two ones, Deep Work and Decisive, I've both been featuring it on the podcast as well. You might be able to find that. It is actually relatively difficult to find those episodes, those relatively old episodes, but you might be able to just, to do that. But yeah, should we actually go through a Quora question? You know, maybe there's going to be a pretty short one just because I see that I'm having quite some time left, you know, which is amazing, which really is amazing. And it's even been just a pretty good episode, I gotta have to say. You know, even though I sound like something, it's just been a relatively good one. So let's actually let you have a look. Can I please do that? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. So there you have them. Actually, a little bit bigger. Not even that bad. So the first one, so these are just actually some questions that are moving, you know, and or they're going to be different for each day, I guess, at least. The first one is self-discipline very important or very powerful? Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. You know, I kind of believe that if there is no motivation, self-discipline is going to kick in. Or discipline. I don't know where self-discipline is coming from, but I just would rather talk about discipline. But I gotta have to say, like, if there's no motivation, there's just gonna be discipline. Hopefully, at least. Hopefully. Yeah. The second one is, why are good habits important? You know, because if you're only having bad habits, you're not gonna be successful and or happy. You know, if you're really kind of like, I don't know. I think good habits have also something to do with feeling good about your life and about yourself, essentially. And if you're having only just bad habits, or the bad habits, which the thing is, if you notice that you're having bad and good habits, then of course those bad habits are not going to be very good for you, or they're not going to make you happy, you know, rather than just the good habits. You know, they're definitely going to make you happy, and they're definitely going to be just pretty good for you. I'm going to have to use some sort of I'm sorry. But they're definitely important, you know, because I do not really think that you're gonna feel good if you know that you're having bad habits, because most often it's gonna be like, okay, you might be having a bad habit of just always eating too much, you know, and after you've eaten too much, you're probably gonna be like, wow, today I've again eaten too much, you know. Just imagine it, you know, you're sitting on your kitchen table, you're eating something, and it's just really huge mountain or hill of rice, you know. Let's talk about rice. Then after you've eaten it, you're maybe gonna feel bad about it, you know. You're maybe gonna be like, well, I've eaten so much rice today, you know, it's really not that good. I shouldn't have done that, you know. It is a bad habit. Maybe you're gonna feel that way. Maybe. Who knows? And the last one is, as a graphic designer, how could you define a concept? I would say a concept is kind of a is kind of a sketch. It's kind of a sketch for the final painting that you're gonna make. It's just it basically describes how you're gonna do the project and how you're gonna make it look. But I do not really think that it is just only about how it's gonna look, but also how why you did certain things. You know, why you did use this font, why you did just do it like this and do it like that and whatnot. So I think this is just a concept, even though there might be just a completely different definition of it. You know, I don't know. I really don't know. This is something that I just been assuming. But yeah, this is gonna actually be it with the episode, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. You know, it's just amazing. Really, it's just amazing. And yeah, I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself when you're gonna be remembered. You know, which basically means your legacy, because we can stimulate that by being nice, for example. But the thing is, no matter how nice you are, no matter how generous you are, there's still gonna be somebody potentially that is not really into you and that dislikes you or even hates you. And something else, some 3 questions that I hope that you're going to ask yourself are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? And I really hope that those 3 questions are hopefully gonna show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, you know, because who knows. So if you've liked this podcast and if you've liked the YouTube video, it would really mean a lot to me if you subscribe to me on the YouTube channel and or on the podcast. You know, it would really mean the world to me. And also rate it, you know, rate it with a thumbs down if you haven't liked it, but please tell me what you haven't liked, and just give me a thumbs up and or just a rating with stars on whatever platform you are if you're listening to the podcast, if you want to. I would appreciate it, totally. And I'm gonna see you hopefully the next time. Hopefully, really hopefully. I'm gonna see you. Just really stay cool, have a nice life, have a nice day. I see you. I really wish you the best. Thanks.